We're going to practice some of that compound meter knowledge. And so we're looking in the rhythm book by Ann Hall, and we'll look at chapter 5, which has the compound meter of 6/8. So let's figure out a couple things about 6/8. First of all, we know that in 6/8 there are, let's get a thinner marker, there we go. In 6/8, we know there are 6 somethings, right? There are 6 eighth notes, but because that top number is greater than 5, the top number doesn't tell us how many beats, it tells us how many subdivisions. So there are 6 eighth note subdivisions in a measure. I'm going to actually, just for practice, I'm going to write those 6 subdivisions as little note heads over here, and I'm going to put stems on those eighth notes in just a minute. Now, what do we do in those compound meters? We take the number of subdivisions, that top number, and we divide it by 3. In other words, we make these 6 M&Ms, we group them into groups of 3. So this would be one group of M&Ms, 1, 2, 3, and this would be another. And that means then we say to ourselves, well, how many groups do I have? What's 6 divided by 3? That means we have 2 beats. 6 divided by 3 is 2. There are 2 big beats in 6/8. Okay, I'm going to go back and group those M&Ms, those eighth note subdivisions, with a beam just to keep them grouped in their little beats, in their big beats, I should say. Okay, now let's, again, I know this takes a lot of thinking, and you think, oh, but 4/4 time is just so easy. It's just right there. Right, I know it. Compound meters, you got to think a little bit more until it gets natural, and then it just becomes natural, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so in each beat, there is the equivalent of 3 eighth notes. What single note adds up to 3 eighth notes? Well, a quarter note is 2 eighth notes. So 3 eighth notes, it's like a quarter note plus another half of a quarter note, right? So that's going to mean the beat is a dotted quarter. There are 2 dotted quarter note beats in 6/8. 2 dotted quarter note beats. So that means that this meter has 2 beats. It is a duple meter, and it is compound. Because why? Because each of those big beats has 3 little subdivisions. So this is an example of a duple compound meter. Now, that was a lot of thinking before we even got to how does this meter sound how does this rhythm sound when I perform it? Right. That's kind of necessary. That's why we're doing it, is to understand how these things are counted. So when I see 6/8 here on the page, I'm always going to give the first thing in the measure a 1, and the next big beat, the next dotted quarter note's worth, a 2. All right? So up here on 5.1, we have a beat that is a 1. And the next thing, it's used up the whole dotted quarter note beat there, so the next thing that happens is a 2, but now it's showing its little subdivisions, isn't it? That second beat is broken up into 3 little subdivisions. Here's how we call them. 2, la, lay. Now, I know some of you learned 2 and a. Please just put that aside and don't use it. I want you to use 2 la, lay. Why? Because I want you to feel how different compound meter is from simple meter. We're going to use and a in a different rhythmic way in simple meters. You already saw that back in the other module. So when we're in 6/8, we're going to use 1 la, lay, 2 la, lay. I'll write it up here. 1 la, lay, 2 la, lay. The first eighth note in any subdivision gets the number word. The second eighth note's worth gets the la. The final eighth note gets the lay. Just go with it. It sounds a little bit like a tongue twister, but it actually works out pretty well. Let's use this 5.1 as a little more counting practice. Okay? So I'm going to jump over to this measure that has a quarter and an eighth, a quarter and an eighth. Well, we know this quarter is going to get the 1. But have we filled up the whole beat? Did we have a dotted quarter note's worth? No. In fact, the dot, what would be the final eighth note in that beat, is separate. One, la, lay. That's the last eighth note available in the beat. That means the next thing must be a two, la, lay. One, lay, two, lay. Let's back up and see what the first measure sounds like. One, two, la, lay. And what's the next measure? One, lay, two, lay. And what's the beat? In case you're not sure, beat, beat, first measure, say it with me. One, two, la, lay. Let's do it again. First measure. One, two, la, lay. Let's do the second measure. Go. One, lay, two, lay. One more time. Go. One, lay, two, lay. Very good. I say very good. I hope it was very good. You're going to have to evaluate that one on your own, right? Okay. Let's look at the last measure here on this line. These little rhythmic nuggets are going to be, that sounded like something from a fast food restaurant. Rhythmic nuggets. We're going to find those little nuggets in these later, longer excerpts, so that's why we're doing it. Okay, so we've got a one. We've got that one, it's not la, because that's the second eighth note, it's a lay. So this has to be a two. But look, it was only an eighth note. The next thing we bump into is the very next eighth note. Two, la. One, lay, two, la. One, lay, two, la. Why didn't they beam these two eighth notes together here in the middle? Because this eighth note belongs to beat one, and this eighth note belongs to beat two. We aren't going to cross over. It's like a fence. There's an invisible fence there, an electric fence between the two beats. We don't want to beam across those two beats. It's easier to look at this way. All right, let's see here. Let's get these other ones done. This one's going to be a 1. That used up all of beat 1. 2, lay. 1, 2, lay. 1, 2, lay. Woo! That lay is stuck right at the end. It's kind of tricky with that rest right after it, yeah. All right, 1. But it's only an eighth note, so we bump into the next eighth note. 1 la, that used up the rest of the beat. 2 la, lay. 1 la, 2 la, lay. Say it with me, here we go. 1 la, 2 la, lay again, and go. 1 la, 2 la, lay. Okay, let's do a big long rhythm so we can kind of get the flow of things. Remember, we have a pickup measure here. You remember what we said about pickups in the previous module about rhythm? We said that we name them, we count them as the last possible thing. We don't count this as 1 la, lay. It has to be the last 3 subdivisions in a measure. The last 3 subdivisions, these ones. 2 la, lay. Again, I'm going to write the counting in for a little while, and you can. But eventually, you want to be able to read these rhythms and perform them with your voice or clapping or on an instrument or whatever. You want to be able to perform them without writing in every single counting. Okay? So for now, as you learn the system, absolutely. Or if there's a particularly tricky rhythm, write it in. But gradually get away from writing in everything. You want to train your eyes to talk to your brain and just say, yeah, I know this pattern. Great. Absolutely. Okay. 2 la, lay. And we've got a 1, 2, la, lay. Oh, look, the next measure is the same. What if I don't write the next measure in? How about this measure is the same as the previous measure? Let's practice not writing it in there. But I'll write in this one. 1, 2. Oh, that's kind of nice. Okay. 1. And instead of a dotted quarter, it's a quarter plus an eighth. So we just have to make our voice stop there. I won't write anything because there's no sound. 2 la, lay. Here's our old friend. 1, 2 la, lay. Oh, look at that. This second to last measure on the first line is almost the same as the last measure on the first line. It's just a little difference of how long that first note holds out. It happens in the same amount of time, but it happens metrically in the same place. But that first note just doesn't sound as long. Okay? I'm going to go on to the next line. Oh, there's again our old friend. 1, 2, la, lay. I'm not going to write that in. But this one's different. We'll do it. 1, la, lay, 2. Okay? The next few measures look really familiar. Don't they look kind of like the different patterns we've already written? I think so. Here's one that might be, it's all of the eighth notes. I'm just skimming ahead. Okay, now we're going to say it. So the first thing you could do is you could tap the beat to yourself. Beat, beat. Make sure you're tapping that beat, and then we're going to do it again while you conduct the beat. Okay? So here we go, saying this rhythm while you tap the beat on your desk or your lap or your head, whatever you want. Okay, here we go. On your friend, maybe not on your dog or your cat, unless they really like rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2, go. 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2, 1. 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1 la lay 2, 1. 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1 la lay 2 la lay 1, 2, 1. Okay, how'd that go? Do you notice, I noticed something, that the places where Professor Hall wrote in an eighth note rest were great places for us to take a breath. So instead of holding that note out a dotted quarter note, she would write a quarter plus an eighth rest to allow us to take a breath. It was like she was showing us where the phrases ended. That eighth rest in this case kind of showed us the end of a musical phrase, a musical idea. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else interesting about that performance? Let's make it more interesting, and let's have you conduct. So when you conduct two beats, duple meter, you're going to go down and up and out. Oh, what am I doing? 1, 2, yeah. Down, up. Down, up. That's if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you're going to go down, up. Oops, let me do it with my left hand. Haha. Down, up, down, up. Okay? That looks like some scribbles and hieroglyphics. However, down and out, in and up. Down and out, in and up. The beat is right where your hand goes to the bottom. Down and out, in and up. Down and out, in and up. Okay? Or left-handed. Now I can do it now that I've thought about it. Down and out, in and up. Down and out, in and up. Okay, my left hand conducting with a pen is not so great. Here we go. You conduct the beats this time. Get your beat pattern going. We're going to do it together. And we're going to say 5A one more time. So here you go. Get your hand going. Down and out, in and up. Down and out, in and up. Ready, and say 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2, 1. Breathe. 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1 la lay 2, 1. 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 2 la lay 1, 2 la lay 1 la lay 2 la lay 1, 2, 1. Okay, let's look just at 5B just a little bit, and then I want to show you a meter that is compound but not duple. Okay, so we're just going to look quickly here at 5B, and again, if you say, oh my gosh, they're going by so fast, this is too fast, this is just to prep you so that these ideas can percolate in your head, and then when you get to skills 1, you'll have more time with them. And also in case you've thought about 6/8 or 9/8 or something in a different way before, maybe you counted it very slowly. This is a chance to sort of look at it in a bigger way. I think maybe a better way, if I can just go ahead and say that. Okay, 5B. So we have a pickup note. What's the very last pickup note counting? What's the very last counting of an eighth note? 1 la lay, 2 la lay. Yeah, that's going to be a lay. 1 lay, 2 lay. The beat and then the last subdivision. The beat and the last subdivision. 1 lay, 2 la lay. That measures the same. 1 lay, 2 la lay. 1. Oh my gosh, look at all that time. You know what? We're going to feel the second beat right there, but we're not going to say it. Lay. 1 lay, 2 la lay. We've had that one before. 1 lay, 2. That's the same. This one looks a little bit different. 1 la lay, 2 lay, 1. Okay. I bet you can do all 6 eighth notes together. 1 la lay, 2 la lay. This one, the last measure in the second line, 1 lay, 2 lay. That's just like the beginning. 1 la lay, 2 la lay. Yep. 1. We have to wait for beat 2. I'll put it in parentheses. We don't say it. Lay 1, lay 2 la lay. Yeah. I bet we can do this one. Okay, here we go. You can tap the beat or conduct it. Either way. Here's our beat. Feel that beat. 1 la lay, 2 la lay. That's our background beat. That pulse, you want to feel it inside your body. Inside. If you put a metronome on, that's okay. That's outside though. You want to internalize it. Feel it somewhere around your breakfast or in your lungs or somewhere deep within you. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, and ready, say. Lay 1, lay 2, lay 1, lay 2 la lay 1, lay 2 la lay 1. Lay 1, lay 2, lay 1, lay 2 la lay 1 la lay 2 lay 1. Lay 1 la lay 2 la lay 1, lay 2, lay 1 la lay 2 la lay 1. Lay 1, lay 2 la lay 1, lay 2 la lay 1 la lay 2 lay 1. Okay, do you notice when we say it that some of the things that we say have more accent? The number words have more accent. Yeah, that's what a meter does. A time signature organizes the strong and weak parts of a measure for us. Let's see what I have on the next page. So here are some examples of not just duple compound, but other ones. Now this page is full of a lot of 16th notes, and so I'm going to skip over 11C here, and we're going to use 11A and 11D because I just want to get the basics. In Skills 1 class, we'd tell you how to count the extra fast subdivisions, the super subdivisions. 9/8, let's go through what we think about 9/8, not your personal opinion of 9/8, but how we perceive it. It's a compound meter, right? It's going to have 9 subdivisions. Okay, there are those 9 subdivisions. And that's just, those are eighth notes. And we want to group them in groups of 3. How many groups do I have? I have 3. There are 3 big beats. Those are dotted quarter note beats. Why? Because 3 eighth notes squished together into one note is a dotted quarter. This is a triple compound. I'm going to write this messily on this screen, but I bet I'll edit in a much nicer looking thing across the bottom of the screen. So triple compound, that means we count 1, 2, 3, 1 la lay, 2 la lay, 3 la lay. Okay. We can do this. Here we go. 1A. Beat 1. Beat 2. We used up that whole dotted quarter note beat. The next thing is a number word. 3. What's its last little subdivision? 3 la lay. Okay. The next measure. 1, 2, 3 lay. It's the same. Good for us. 1, 2, it's not done yet, lay, here's beat 3, 3, la, lay, 1, 2, oh, beat 3 is a rest. And there's a repeat sign. Notice the repeat sign. Where do we go to? We go, oops, come on, marker, stop, it's not behaving. It goes back to the beginning. So we'll do that when we perform it in just a second. All right, let's look at the next line here. 1, lay, I'm not writing it in, am I? No. 2, lay, 3, la, lay. Look at how the beaming helps us know that this eighth note is beat 3. That kind of helps our eyes, unless I've written messily above it and distracted our eyes. Okay. The next measure, 1, lay, 2, la, lay, 3, lay. Okay, that's not so bad. 1, lay, 2, la, lay, 3, la, lay. Look at those groups of eighth notes beamed together to help you keep track of the beats. Now, singers, you may be singing from music where every separate syllable that you have of text is flagged separately, so that you only have beams when you're singing one syllable with many notes. That's for helping with text. It unfortunately doesn't help you with perceiving rhythm. So this may be kind of a new notational convention for you, but hey, I think you'll maybe start to agree with the instrumentalists like, yeah, this helps me see rhythm way, way better. The last beat, measure in the line is 1, 2, and the third beat is empty. So we want to not forget about that. The final line, we start with eighth notes. 1, la, lay, 2, lay, 3, lay. 1, la, lay, 2, lay, 3, la, lay. Okay. 1, la, lay, 2, la, lay, 3, lay, 1, 2. Okay. So let's see here. The conducting pattern for 3 is down, out, up. If you're right-handed, you're going to go out to the right. Down, out, in and up. Down, out, in and up. It kind of looks like a fancy shoe. Let's see here. I'm going to do it over, I'm running out of page. Here, I'm going to write all over this. Down, out, in and up. Down, to the left, in and up. Down, if you're left-handed, to the left, in and up. You don't need to conduct with both hands because you're not conducting a marching band on the field. If you have conducted a marching band on the field, good for you. Just let one hand rest. It's going to be used for other things in your musical life. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ready, set, say. 1, 2, 3, lay. 1, 2, 3, lay. 1, 2, lay, 3, la, lay. 1, 2. Oh, repeat. 1, 2, 3, lay. 1, 2, 3, lay. 1, lay, 2, la, lay. 3, la, lay. 1, 2. Next line. 1, lay, 2, lay, 3, la, lay. 1, lay, 2, la, lay. 3, lay. 1, lay, 2, la, lay. 3, la, lay. 1, 2. Rest. Next line. 1, la, lay, 2, lay, 3, lay. 1, la, lay, 2, lay, 3, la, lay. 1, la, lay, 2, la, lay. 3, lay. 1, 2. Whew, we wouldn't want to go any slower than that. That's still not quite as fast as the tempo marking, where the dotted quarter note equals 120. That's pretty quick. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, lay. 1, 2, 3, lay. 1. Woo, that's fast. Okay. Let's do one more example, and we might clap this one. We're looking at the bottom of the page. Let's see if I can scooch that up a little bit. A little bit. Okay. Bottom of the page, now we've got an example of 12-4. 12-4. So if I have 12 eighth note subdivisions, how many beats? What's 12 divided by 3? Remember, each beat consists of 3 of those eighth note subdivisions. 12 divided by 3 is 4 beats. 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're subdivisions. 1 lale, 2 lale, 3 lale, 4 lale. This is a quadruple compound meter. It is both quadruple and compound. It's quadruple because there are 4 beats, 4 big beats. It's compound because each of those beats has 3 little eighth notes squished inside it. That's its most straightforward subdivision. All right, let's jump down here to 11D, okay? And let's tackle that pickup note. What's the last thing in a measure? The last 2 subdivisions. How do we say them? Lale. They're the last possible things. Lale. 1. We've used up the entire beat, so the next thing we bump into is the next number. 2. Lay. 3. Oh no, beat 4 is a rest. Lale. 1, 2, lay 3. Oh, it was the same. How about that? Lale. Okay, I'll write this one out. 1, 2, lale, 3, lale, 4, lay. Notice beat 2 is beamed all together, and beat 3 is beamed all together. That's helpful for our eyes to help sort of manage this rhythm. Ooh, how exciting. Look at this next line. How long is that first note? Well, it has in it, that dotted half note has in it 2 dotted quarter notes. 2 quarter notes fits inside 1 half note. 2 dotted quarter notes fit inside 1 dotted half. So this is beat 1 and beat 2 held through 3. Okay, lale. Where's beat 4? It's right here on that rest. I'm not going to write it this time because it's getting kind of messy. 1, 2. This has to be a 2 because we've used up all of beat 1. But look, we don't fill it out. 2 la. We're done. We go to the next subdivision. 3. Lale. 1, 2 la. 3. Lale. Okay. 1, 2 la. All right, that uses up all of beat 2. 3 la. 4 lale. Wow. Okay. 1, 2 la, 3. Okay. By the way, notice how we're going through it carefully right now. That's how you're training your brain so that eventually you can do this at a split second. Your brain can see patterns and say, oh yeah, we know that. We got this. We've seen this pattern before. So it might take a little work to sort of figure it out for now. And that's why, by the way, you have to practice oral skills class. You don't just do it in class, but you're going to end up practicing oral skills every day. Like even 20 minutes a day, every day, outside of class time, is going to really, really make life great. Okay? Let's see, where was I? 1, 2 la, 3. I'll get off my little soapbox there. La, lay. Oh, this is another quick one. 1 la, use up all of beat 1. 2, is this a 2 la? No. 2, wait for it. Lay, 3. Okay, that's going to happen the same again there. La, lay, 1 la. Ooh. 1 la, 2 lay, and here's that same pattern, but it starts on beat 3. 3 la, 4 lay. 1 la, lay, 2 la, 3. Okay, so now we're going to conduct a 4 pattern. We did this once before. Let's see if I can draw it a little bit better. Now, if you're right-handed, you're going to go you're going to go down and to the left, and then the right, and then up. So right-handed is down, left, right, up. Down, left, right, up. Down, left, right, up. If you're left-handed, you're going to go down. Oh, no. I leaned on a button. If you're left-handed, you're going to go down and then to your right, inwards towards the core of your body. Down, in, out, up. Down, right, left, up. Down, right, left, up. Okay, if you're ready to conduct and say, that's great. If you're only like, wow, I'm just going to tap the beat, that's okay too. So we want to feel the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with lale. Go! Lale 1, 2, lay 3. Lale 1, 2, lay 3. Lale 1, 2, lale 3, lale 4. 1, 3. Lale 1, 2, la 3. Lale 1, 2, la 3. Lale 1, 2, la 3, la 4. Lale 1, 2, la 3. Lale 1, la 2, lay 3. Lale 1, la 2, lay 3. Lale 1, la 2, lay 3, la 4. Lay 1, la, lay 2, la 3. Okay, that's plenty of practice. So you could also go back and clap those rhythms, would be a great idea. If this was just freaking you out, you should just go back and review it. Again, just do it again. Sometimes it just needs to sink in a little bit more. All right, keep up the good work.